Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a very interesting situation happening around the WNBA, and specifically the way certain records and milestones are being presented when it comes to young stars like Olivia Miles, Caitlin Clark, and Aliyah Boston. The WNBA, for some reason, keeps making up fake records for Olivia Miles. I don't get it, because Olivia Miles is insane on her own right, by the way, and eventually she's going to break a lot of Caitlin Clark's fastest 2 records. But at the end of the day, that'll be at 450 points or 500 points. At some stage, she's going to break the fastest 2 record because Olivia Miles is averaging about 1 point per game more than Caitlin Clark did throughout her career. And Olivia Miles reached 400 points, 100 rebounds, and 100 assists through 22 games. In fact, through 22 games, Caitlin Clark had about 50 more assists, and hers came at 400 points and 100 rebounds too. That said, once it gets to fastest to 500 points, 100 rebounds, 100 assists, it's going to be Olivia Miles. Fastest to, 500, 100, 100, yeah, that one's going to be Olivia Miles. And the game before, she hadn't hit it yet. She was at like 390-something points. They said she was fastest to 300 points, 100 assists. Caitlin Clark did that 2 games faster. Caitlin Clark reached 300 points, 100 assists in 19 games. Olivia Miles did it in 21 games, then matched that pace again by 22 games, basically tying Caitlin Clark's rate. But in both of those games, they said Olivia Miles was out on her own for a record. And this is from official sources. This is not just random stuff. This is official sources. ESPN Insights. In back-to-back games Aliyah Boston has played, ESPN has quoted 4 fake records, one of which wasn't a record at all, and one which was a tie for a record, which is fine. And this isn't a knock on Aliyah Boston. I think Aliyah Boston right now is ahead of Caitlin Clark and is number 2 in the MVP race. She's having a better season than Caitlin Clark, and she's having a better rookie year than Caitlin Clark. I can't believe I'm saying this, because I think Caitlin had one of the 2 or 3 best rookie years of all time. But Aliyah Boston is having a better rookie year than Caitlin Clark. She's having the best rookie year since Candace Parker. But when those comparisons involve Caitlin Clark, the details matter. Caitlin Clark changed the way people looked at statistical production. She wasn't just putting up points, she was creating offense, controlling games, and filling every part of the stat sheet. Her ability to score, pass, and create opportunities for teammates made her rookie season one of the most talked about individual performances in recent basketball history. That is why comparisons involving Caitlin Clark are always going to bring extra attention. When people hear a headline saying someone is the fastest ever to reach a certain combination of statistics, fans naturally want to know the full story. How many games did it take? What were the exact numbers? Were the categories exactly the same? Was this a completely new record, or was it a variation of something that had already been achieved? Those details matter. And this is where the debate around Olivia Miles comes in. The point is not that Olivia Miles isn't great. The point is that Olivia Miles does not need exaggerated headlines or questionable comparisons to prove she belongs. She is talented enough on her own. The same thing applies to Aliyah Boston. Aliyah Boston has been putting together an incredible season, and she deserves recognition for what she has accomplished. The impact she has made on the court is undeniable. Her basketball IQ, rebounding ability, defensive presence, and leadership are all major reasons why people view her as one of the best young players in the game. And honestly, that is what makes this conversation frustrating, because when a player is already performing at an elite level, there is no reason to rely on questionable narratives. Aliyah Boston does not need fake hype. Olivia Miles does not need fake hype. These players are already special. The reality is that Caitlin Clark became popular because of what she did on the court. People were watching before every record was announced. Fans were tuning in because of her style of play, her competitiveness, her passing ability, and the excitement she brought to every game. The records came after. That is something people sometimes forget. Caitlin Clark's popularity was not built only because someone announced she was breaking a record. Millions of fans watched because they wanted to see a unique player doing things they had never seen before. And that is why players like Olivia Miles and Aaliyah Boston should be allowed to build their own stories. Every great player deserves their own identity. Trying to constantly compare young stars to Caitlin Clark can actually take away from what makes those players special. Because Olivia Miles is not Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston is not Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark is not anyone else. They all bring different things to basketball. Caitlin Clark's ability to create offense from anywhere on the floor is rare. Her passing vision is something that immediately changed how defenses approached her. She has a style of play that makes people stop and watch. Olivia Miles has her own strengths. Her creativity, her ability to handle the ball, and her all-around game make her one of the most exciting young players coming up. Aaliyah Boston has dominated in her own way, with her inside presence, defense, and consistency. That is why the focus should be on celebrating what each player is actually doing. Because when every achievement is turned into a comparison, fans sometimes lose sight of the actual basketball. And basketball is what should matter most. The numbers are part of the story, but they are not the entire story. A record should represent something meaningful. It should show a truly historic accomplishment. And when records are created through very specific combinations or presented without full context, people naturally start questioning how significant they really are. Again, this is not about taking anything away from Olivia Miles or Aaliyah Boston. Both players have the talent to create their own history. The bigger question is why the conversation around young stars has become so focused on finding the next person to compare with Caitlin Clark, instead of appreciating them individually. And that's really where this entire discussion comes back to Caitlin Clark. Because whether people love her game or criticize her, one thing is undeniable. Caitlin Clark changed the conversation around women's basketball. The level of attention she brought, the number of people who wanted to watch her play, and the way she filled arenas did not happen simply because of statistics. It happened because fans connected with the way she played. She was exciting, she was competitive, she played with confidence, and most importantly, she made people want to see what she would do next. That is why the comparisons are so difficult. Caitlin Clark's rookie season was not just about scoring points or collecting assists. It was about how she impacted the entire sport. She became one of those rare players who made casual fans interested in watching every game. That type of influence cannot be measured by one statistic. And that is also why trying to create constant, fastest-ever comparisons can sometimes miss the bigger picture. A player does not become great because of a graphic on television or because of a headline on social media. A player becomes great because of what they do when they step on the court. Look at players like Candace Parker, Diana Taurasi, Aja Wilson, and other legends of the game. Their careers were not defined by one random milestone. They built their legacies through years of dominance, consistency, and unforgettable performances. The same opportunity exists for Olivia Miles. The same opportunity exists for Aaliyah Boston. They have the ability to create their own legacy. And honestly, that is what should happen. Instead of asking, is Olivia Miles the next Caitlin Clark, or is Aaliyah Boston having a better rookie season than Caitlin Clark, the better question is simply, how great can these players become? Because the future of women's basketball is incredibly bright. There are so many talented players entering the spotlight, and that should be celebrated. More stars mean more competition, more storylines, and more fans getting invested in the game. But the comparisons need to be fair. If a record is being discussed, give the full context. If a milestone is being celebrated, explain exactly what it means. Fans deserve the complete picture. Because when people find out later that a record was based on a very specific statistical combination, or that another player achieved something similar under different circumstances, it creates unnecessary debates. And those debates can distract from the actual performances happening on the court. Olivia Miles is already a special player. Aaliyah Boston is already a special player. Caitlin Clark is already a special player. There is room for all of them. The WNBA does not need one player to replace another. It needs multiple stars creating their own moments and building their own fan bases. That is how leagues grow. That is how legends are created. So the conversation should not be about taking something away from one player to lift another player up. Greatness does not work that way. You can appreciate Caitlin Clark's historic impact while also recognizing Olivia Miles' talent. You can appreciate what Aaliyah Boston is doing without needing to compare every achievement to someone else. At the end of the day, the players are the reason fans watch. The performances are the reason people remember. And years from now, people are not going to remember every headline or every graphic that appeared during a season. They are going to remember the moments, the big shots, the incredible passes, the dominant performances, the players who changed the game. And right now, we are watching a generation of players who have the potential to do exactly that. So let me know what you think. Do you think the way these records are being presented helps young players, or does it create unnecessary comparisons? Do you think Olivia Miles and Aaliyah Boston are already creating their own legacy? And where do you think Caitlin Clark ranks among the most impactful players we've ever seen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest basketball discussions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.